Hi guys and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Ride 5 and we're also going to be discussing the latest DLC pack for Ride 5, which is of course King of the Hills pack. Now this pack includes 5 bikes and of course the track that you can see right now, and this track may or may not be familiar to you if you've played the previous Ride installments. Now cast your minds back to the very first Ride game, and this track, Stelvio, was in that game. Now I didn't really recognise it until around halfway through the circuit. If you don't recognise it yet, then bear with me because you probably will. But I will say, I do really like this circuit. It's great to see it back in the game. I think it's a fictional track that's been inspired by the mountains of Italy, but I'm not entirely sure. I think Stelvio is a real place, but I just don't know if it's accurately depicted this way. But either or, I love this version. I think it looks fantastic. It's clean, it's a nice wide circuit, very fast and flowing. It's a pretty solid track. So what we're going to do for this video is we're going to start off in the track using one of the DLC bikes, which you can see right now, which is the Ducati Monster Plus from 2021. And then I'll show you another version of this circuit with a different DLC bike. But let's be honest, this is the part now that you must recognise. This must feel familiar if you played the original Ride. I wasn't sure about this track until I got to here, and then I was like, yes, I remember this from the original Ride. I think it was in the Ducati 90th anniversary game as well, which came out a couple of months, maybe a year after the original Ride. Don't really remember. But yeah, it's really good to see this track again, and I guess we'll move on to now discuss the Ducati Monster Plus, which is from 2021, as mentioned already. Really solid bike. It's a good, solid, naked bike. I don't know if it's going to really take it over anywhere or really going to be used a lot online, for example, but I do really like this bike. It feels great. It's really responsive. It's planted as well, so on the brakes it's quite firm. I like it. I like it a lot, to be honest with you, but I can't say it feels significantly different from any of the other naked motorcycles I've used already within Ride 5, but the feedback so far, I really like the bike. It looks absolutely amazing. It's really stunning. And for this DLC pack to be, what, £7.99, included already in the Season Pass if you own it, I guess we're going to look into these bikes with a bit more detail. But for now, from what I'm looking at, and this bike is completely stock. Stock tyres, stock, no upgrades basically. It's just completely stock the way it was when you buy the DLC pack for the very first time. So I think I'll keep it stock for this video, and I'll keep up the rest of the bike stock for this video as well, but for the future times we use these machines, I will be upgrading them to completion to make things a little bit more interesting, especially when it comes down to the likes of career mode as well. So as I mentioned previously, this section of track is really familiar to me. It's what really sparks my interest for this circuit, but there's something very cool about this next couple of corners, and I don't know if you can be able to hear it, but you may be able to hear the church bells. How beautiful is that? If you enjoyed that part, definitely hit the subscribe button because it does help out the channel, and of course keeps you inundated with plenty of Ride 5 content. But it's such a small detail there. Really like to see stuff like that. It reminds me of the bells in Tovuya going off every single time Valentino Rossi won a race. It's really cool to have that in the game. But I think I've done what I can now with the time trial and with the Ducati Monster, so we'll get across the line, and I think we'll move on to the next bike, which will be the KTM 890 Duke R, also from 2021. So across the line, our lap time is going to be a 1:47.570. Alright then guys, let's start racing. As I mentioned, this is the KTM 890 Duke R. I'm going to wait for the red lights to disappear, and we're going to see if we get a good launch against the rest of the KTMs. Now, something to mention that I have changed. Oh, they were very slow off the line there. I have changed the circuit. It's still the Stelvio track, but it's the half version, if you will. It's going to basically split in the middle. We're not going to go down near the chicanes or near the uphill section towards the clock tower, or whatever you call it, the church. I couldn't think what it was called. It's going to completely cut out that middle part. So onto the right-hand side here, I'm going to try and get a good drive. I don't know how strong the AI are going to be. They were quite slow in the first start of the lap, but here to the right hand side, powering with everything we can now with the KTM, going wow, round the outside of 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, beautifully done, going up the inside of Giovanni Peretti, and now against another Italian in the form of Pietro Valenti. So bit closer. I'll tell you what a start that's been, from 20th up to 2nd. in less than, what, 55 seconds? That's pretty impressive stuff. Almost a complete lap, but not always. Nicely done. Can we get the change? I'll tell you what, we've done it. From last to first in a single lap. That's awesome, that's really cool, but that's a bit concerning because that means that AI in this track, on the hardest difficulty, with the AI behaviour set as aggressive, are not very competitive. So I'm a little bit disappointed by that, honestly. Now, when I read the patch notes and other things from the previous update, I was hoping that the AI would be rebalanced in a way of making it more challenging. Sadly, we may have gone backwards, or maybe it's just this circuit, I don't know, but I'm a little bit disappointed how effortlessly we were able to power past people. But one thing I will say, the KTM 890 Duke feels great. It's a really nice bike. Again, still following that theme of uphill bikes, maybe good solid naked motorcycles that can really tackle undulation. And I think both the Ducati Monster Plus that we've tried so far and now the KTM feel great. Got nothing negative to say about these bikes, feel really nice. Again, with a lot of the bikes in Ride 4, Ride 5, they don't feel significantly different, but they have their own sort of nuances and feelings that you just notice it's a little bit different. And I think for this bike, I'll definitely be using it online, I'll definitely be using it when I can. I would really like to start a naked championship eventually, and the naked in referring to the motorcycles, not the people participating. And I think these bikes are great choices, especially this KTM. I'm going to definitely look at doing another video with this bike in the future within more detail. We're getting a bit loose upon the brakes there for turn 3. That's just me actually losing a bit of confidence upon the brakes. And tell you what, Sarah Morrow has closed right in, less than 0.4 of a second. Now, will she be able to stay with me through this change of direction here? We're quite fast. Of course, we've seen it a moment ago in the previous lap. Or at least the first lap, should we say. Oh, it's the second advantage. Yeah, Sarah Morrow whiffed in that exchange. So good effort from Sarah, good effort from the Italians, but it looks like we're going to be on the top of the pile once again. But yeah, feedback's good with the KTM so far. I do really like it. I like the way it looks as well, and it sounds good too, so it's not much else to really say about this. But don't get me wrong, it's not going to all be sunshine and roses in this video. There's going to be, well, there's certainly one bike I absolutely can't stand, so yeah, stay tuned for that. But across the line we go, and that is going to be our first victory in today's races with the stock KTM 890 Duke R. Okay, so moving on now to our third bike on the list. This is the MV Agusta Rush 1000. So I'm expecting this bike to be a bit of a beast, so let's see what we can do here in the Almeria circuit of Spain. So onto the brakes we go. Got a good launch off the line there. We're able to close in on 4th place. Yeah, nicely done. So up to 4th already. And I've got to be honest with you, I don't really know this track, so bear with me in this one. This one could be a difficult challenge. The bike does feel really powerful. Feels like it's going to really kick off into the rear tyre. I'm not a big fan of the rear tyre design, by the way. That weird cover over the MV Agusta is a bit strange, but I've got to say, this bike is really stunning. I love the colours, I love the way it looks, but that rear part on the rear wheels, not so nice. We've seen Moto3 bikes do that in last season, was it, where they did the cover over the wheel. Apparently it was meant to help with temperature or something. Well, I'm not entirely sure, but so far so good. Bike feels really good. I'm not a big fan of this circuit. It doesn't feel like I can really push to the maximum. It's not a very good flowing track, but it could be just that I've not really experienced this track yet and really put the time in to learn all the corners. So I guess I won't be too negative towards the circuit. I'll withhold judgment yet, just focusing more on the bikes and the DLC pack we had a moment ago. Excuse me, the track that we had in the DLC pack a moment ago, which was of course Stelvio. So Chase, went off the circuit there. Good bouncy bike there as well. Good suspension on the stock MV Agusta Rush 1000 as we now go firm onto the brakes with this bike from 2021 against all of the bikes just from 2 years ago. Cedric Mallet leading the way. Adriano Garrido Lopez in second. Oh, good exit coming out to the Entrada Meta though. And the final corner, going home hard on the brakes. We certainly do. We've taken over second place. So again, it's going to be another 3-lap sprint like we've seen in Stelvio a moment ago. So we haven't really got time to rest on our laurels or take our time and just really ease our way past. We sort of need to get hurrying here because I don't know how strong the AI will be in these 3 laps. We're all on the exact same motorcycle. I do believe we've all got the same specs I don't think any of the AI is upgraded or anything, but I could be well and truly proved wrong. I know sometimes that does happen here in Ride 5. So, following Cedric Mallet, we're going to try and close in if I can. I don't know where I'm going to go for the lunge, and you know what? I'm in a bit of a situation here in this track because I don't know it very well. I played it once or twice in the career mode, I think. I don't even know if I have done yet. I really don't remember, but all I know is that I'm doing better when I follow a rider, so I'm actually tempted to let Cedric Mallet lead this race, and I'll catch up towards the end. Because I do know already from a past... Yeah, I have played this before, because I know on the braking zone ahead, they are really, really early on the brakes. I think it could be worthwhile to follow the Frenchman and see if we can pass him on the last lap. Makes things interesting as well, I guess. So we'll go up early on the brakes. Yeah, they brake really early. I think you can brake as late as the second braking marker on the left-hand side there. So we'll see what happens. But into the left-hand side, into the Entrada a Meta, or Meta, I don't know how you pronounce that corner name. But onto the final lap then, going hard on the brakes. I probably could go around the outside there, but I'm not going to. I'm going to wait. I don't fancy leading this race because I just don't understand the track very well. And the bike is quite powerful in the low gears. So ideally, I don't want to be dropping down to first gear. I'm going to try and avoid that now and just stay in second. I think I might need to drop down to first here though, just to get a bit more power. Oh, look at that, squeezing up on the inside of the fellow MV Agusta. Do notice sometimes the collision detection in Ride 5 can be a little bit strange, and right there was a good example. Like, we seem to be closer together than... It felt like we were closer together than it actually looked. I could feel the presence of the motorcycle there, even though we weren't touching. I do find in the MotoGP games, especially with the Moto3 bikes, they handle that a lot better. But in Ride 5, there's sort of a weird collision detection. I think it's because they must take from the largest bike. So if you use a small bike, it still feels like you're going to hit someone when you shouldn't. So anyway, moving on from that, into the chicane, aptly known as the chicane, as we go into the right-hand side. You're going to follow Cedric all the way up to the moment. Oh, he had a moment there. Oh, Cedric doesn't want me to lead. Oh, he wants... Yeah, he does. He wants me to lead going into the back straight. So I guess it's down to us. And surely Cedric Mallet is not going to outbrake us. There's the first braking marker. Here's the second. Start braking there. And that should be enough. Oh, I hope it's enough. It is. Very tight to the apex for the final rector. And then quick change direction into the left-hand side. Oh, that's really tight. Oh, a penalty. 37,000 of a second. Yeah, we should win this, but that was a little bit scary. A metaphorical slap on the wrist for cutting the corner there. So, now on to a British motorcycle. This is the Triumph Speed Triple RS from 2020. Now, I do believe we've had this in Ride 4, so I'm curious to see how different this bike handles. It was a pretty solid bike in Ride 4, so I'm hoping for the same thing. But another 3-lap race here. This time it's the very short version of the brand's Indy circuit, so this could be tight and intense. But so far, again, stock tyres, stock bike, feels pretty good. It's a nice motorcycle to use. I can't say I've got any glaring issues, but I also can't say it feels significantly different to the other bikes. Oh, good acceleration on the exit though. Oh, it does feel quite powerful on the acceleration in the lower gears. Maybe that could be a little bit different. I do find as well, even aggressively bringing on the acceleration, it doesn't seem to having the rear wheels spin a lot. Pretty good, yeah, it feels quite confident. I'm liking this, it's a nice bike. So on to the right hand side, but a little bit disappointed that this bike, of course, was in... it might have been a DLC bike from last game, but I don't really remember. But all I know is that it is a good bike, but it's kind of sad to be seeing it again so soon. But it's good, it's alright, it's not a bad bike. I can't say I'll be using this one as much as the Ducati Monster, or possibly the MV Agusta Rush, which you just looked at, or even the KTM. But so far so good. I'm not disappointed with my purchase. I'm happy that I've got Stelvio, and I'm happy that I've got the 3 or 4 bikes I've looked at so far. So yeah, good feedback so far. Bike feels pretty solid. Can we push? Ooh, yeah, the rear tyre does kick out a little bit without traction control, but that is with the stock tyres. I don't know what the slicks will be like, but anyway, into the right hand side, Cody Murray is currently leading the way again on the same motorcycle, trying to keep things together, and we're going to have a pop Cecilia, ooh, goodness me, Cecilia Lee could be watching this from afar as we absolutely punted Cody Murray. You could call that a block pass, but you could just call that an aggressive manoeuvre. Either way, we got to the front, used the power of the Triumph, and we should have this victory. Of course, we've got the very difficult change of direction here from the left to the right. Oh, the Surtees corner was not navigated well from me. But into the final part of this corner, this is the Clark curve. We should be getting the victory with the Triumph Street Triple RS from 2020. So another good job for us. Victory with the stock motorcycle. So far this video has been great. The bikes have been great, the tracks have been great, but this bike is absolutely awful. Look at the state of this. This is the Vyrus Alyen? Is it meant to be alien, but with a Y instead? It's spelled A-L-Y-E-N. This bike's awful. Absolutely awful. Look at it. It just... yeah, this is a nasty bike. We're going to have to look at this in detail. Let's go to the photo mode and have a look. I mean, what is it? Is it a Komodo dragon? What is it, a platypus? What's that thing with like the big side, like, flaps on the side of him? I don't know my lizards very well, but yeah, or any reptiles for that matter. But yeah, this bike's awful. I don't see an alien, I just see something that is just utterly awful. Yeah, this is terrible. Does it feel good? Not really, no. I can't get it stopped going into the first corner. Let's see if I can actually put in a decent lap, though. Wow, it's bouncy. Again, this is completely stock. I've not changed anything. But this was a bike from 3 years ago. I hope they don't make any more like this. Oh, I don't like this bike at all. Oh, it feels terrible. Isn't it electric as well? It doesn't sound electric. I don't like this bike. I'm not having a good time with it. It just feels like it's going to crash in every corner. No, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of this. I'm a bit speechless compared to the rest of the video. I had loads to say and I wanted to try and keep it engaging, but I can't say anything else, but this is just awful. It's just awful. I don't like it at all. Let me know in the comments section down below, guys, if you bought this... Whoa, I almost lost the front there. If you bought this pack, let me know what you think of all of them, but most importantly, let me know about this monstrosity here, because this is just dreadful. I matched its ugliness with the suit that we've got on today. Yeah, I really don't like this bike. It feels terrible. Doesn't want to turn in, and every time you do get on the brakes a little bit, the rear tyre starts to skip and weave and move. You can just see it. Visually, the bike is not planted. Yeah, I don't like this at all. 10 out of 10 for creativity, but a terrible execution. I don't like this at all. What's that old classic saying? The operation was a success, but the patient died. That's exactly what this bike is. Great idea, great concept, awful. Don't like it. I do apologise if anyone has this bike in real life and they're just absolutely and utterly disgusted with my comments, but no, this bike's no good. And if you happen to agree, then definitely hit subscribe, because yeah, I wouldn't mind racing this one online and just talking nothing but bad-mouthing it. What a way to end the video. It was so positive and upbeat. Now I'm regretting everything. £8 for this DLC pack, or £32 for the season pass. It was fair, but I don't know. I would have rather paid £6 and not had this bike. Well, guys and gals, that's it from me. I don't think I care to do another lap with this bike anymore. So guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.